Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my college football recap for Week 13. Let's jump into it. We're going to start off with our Thursday games. I already recapped the Tuesday games in my prediction video Wednesday. So let's recap the Thursday games. Number 18, Mississippi State, they beat Ole Miss 35-3. The most memorable thing from this game is going to be the big brawl that happened at the end of the third quarter. But Mississippi State, number 18 Mississippi State, they got the 35-3 win over Ole Miss. Mississippi State is going to finish the regular season at 8-4. 4-4 in the conference. I wouldn't call it a disappointment for Mississippi State, but I had them, I think, at 9-3 or 10-2 Mississippi State, so maybe a little bit of a disappointment at times. Ole Miss, hopefully you can get rid of that bowl ban, because I think if you get rid of the bowl ban, I think you guys will be in a bowl game. But good win for Mississippi State on the road, absolutely dominated their rival. Next game, Colorado State versus Air Force. Air Force got the 27-19 win over Colorado State. Neither one of these teams are going to be making a bowl game at this point. But they played strong, both of these teams, and finished the season pretty good. Now to the Friday games. Number 6 Oklahoma beats number 13 West Virginia on the road 59-56. Oklahoma will be in the Big 12 championship game as they get by West Virginia. Big time win for them. For Oklahoma. West Virginia, they played pretty well, but they got to approve someone that defense. Will Greer's going to the NFL draft, so they also got to kind of find a new quarterback. They'll still be in a bowl game, West Virginia. They should really be 9-3. I'm giving them that win over NC State. They'll be in a decent bowl game at least, but they really got to find a defense and a new quarterback if they even want to be this close again next year. But good win for Oklahoma. Let's see if they beat Texas in the Big 12 championship. Number 16 Washington beats number 8 Washington State in the snow on the road 28-15. Good win for Washington on the road. They get to go to the Pac-12 championship because whoever won this game was going to represent the Pac-12 North in the championship. I'm a little bit by the way, the Pac-12 does not have a path to the college football playoffs. If Washington State won this game, they would have. But since Washington beat them, there's no path for Washington. There's no path for Washington or the Pac-12 to get into the college football season, to get into the college football playoffs. So that's what happened in this game. It was in the snow. In Washington, they just looked like the better team overall. They ran the ball better. They looked like the more experienced team, and they got the job done. So, good win for Washington. Number 9 UCF, they beat South Florida 38-10. Mackenzie Milton, he had a horrible injury, leg injury, knee injury. He went through successful surgery, but UCF, their winning streak is going to be in jeopardy because I think they will beat Memphis in the American Championship game, but I don't think they're going to win that New Year's Six Bowl. So I think their winning streak is in jeopardy. South Florida, by the way, they got to figure a few things out by next season. They did not have that good of a season, in my opinion. Number 14, Texas, they beat Kansas 24-17. Good win for Texas. I didn't like how they let Kansas get back in this one. They get to face Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. If they win that one, they'll guarantee a New Year's Six spot, in my opinion. Kansas, you don't make a bowl game, but hey, you get Les Miles next year, and that's a better shot. That's probably the best coach you had in a long time at Kansas. So you have that to look forward to. Iowa, they beat Nebraska 31-28. Good win for Iowa. Great for them to finish up the year. They'll be in the bowl game. Probably not that good of a bowl game, but like an average bowl game. Nebraska, I think next year Nebraska's going to be coming. And when I mean coming, I think Nebraska's an 8-win team next year. Maybe even a 9-win team. I give them a shot in the Big 12 West. I mean, in the Big 10 West next year. They really improved late in the season, and I think Scott Frost in that team is going to really play well next year. Excuse me. Next, Ohio, they beat Akron 49-28. Good win for Ohio at home. They finished the season at 8-4. They will be in the bowl game. Akron, they get to face South Carolina next week in a makeup game. Even though I don't think these two teams were going to face each other at the beginning. I think Akron had a game canceled against Nebraska or somebody, and so they're going to be facing South Carolina on the road. They'll lose that game to South Carolina, finish the year 4-8. But okay season for Akron, but they gotta improve some. Buffalo, they beat Bowling Green 44-14. Good win for Buffalo on the road. They'll be in the MAC championship. Bowling Green, you guys really gotta improve a lot. I'm kind of doing mini season recaps, by the way. Toledo, they get the 51-13 win over Central Michigan. Toledo will be in a bowl game. Decent season from Toledo overall. Central Michigan, they already fired their head coach. And we're going to be doing a video tomorrow or Tuesday of the coaching jobs in college football, the head coaching jobs, and which one is the most attractive one and which one is the least attractive one. But Central Michigan, they have a long way to go. Eastern Michigan, they beat Kent State 28-20. Eastern Michigan will be in a bowl game. Kent State will not. Kind of expected Kent State to go 2-10 anyways. So yeah. Eastern Michigan, by the way, let's see what you do in your bowl game. Memphis beats Houston 52-31. Whoever won this game was going to be in the American West. And I was a little bit surprised. If you told me 4 weeks ago that Memphis was going to be in the American Championship, I would have probably said you were wrong. But unfortunately, I was the one that's wrong, and Memphis won this one 52-31. Memphis will get their asses kicked by UCF, though, in my opinion. That's just how I feel. Houston will still be in a decent bowl game for the American, but gotta chalk this one up as a disappointing season. Even though I think I had Houston going 8-4 actually, so maybe not. Arkansas versus Missouri. Missouri caps off their season going 8-4. Good season for Missouri. They were a little bit better than I thought they were going to be this year. They won this one 38-0. Arkansas, there is a lot to improve at Arkansas. They really got to reboot that program. They are definitely going to be bad for the next 3 to 5 years, in my opinion. South Alabama, they beat Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina couldn't get the job done against South Alabama because if Coastal Carolina won, they would have been in the bowl game. But South Alabama beats them 31-28. Neither one of these teams will be in the bowl game this year. Coastal Carolina is just about there. By the way, they just need to improve a little bit. South Alabama, they're usually the doormat in the Sun Belt. Let's see. Cincinnati beats East Carolina 56-6. Good win for Cincinnati at home. They will be placed in one of the better bowl games with a 10-2 record as a group of 5 team. East Carolina, we're going to say you guys lost that game against Virginia Tech, so we're going to say you guys went 3-9. I think Sky Montgomery's gone. I haven't read anything about it. I know a few coaches already got let go, but would not surprise me if East Carolina moves on from him. Cincinnati, though, pretty impressive season. I had Cincinnati only going, I think, 5-7, I believe. So pretty good season from Cincinnati. Let's see what else here. The Battle of Virginia. Virginia Tech, they beat Virginia in overtime at home 34-31. Good win for Virginia Tech. I did not expect them to win this one. As I said a few seconds ago, we're going to be giving Virginia Tech that win over East Carolina that got canceled because of Hurricane Florence. And I'll say this, Virginia Tech, I'll consider them a bowl team, but you gotta call this year kind of a disappointment. I said Virginia Tech could be disappointing this year. I said that several times in my preseason predictions because I sat up there and said I had them at 8-4, going 4-4 in the ACC. So I got the ACC record correct, everybody. But you gotta say Virginia Tech has been a disappointing year. When you let teams like Georgia Tech go in there and beat the crap out of you, that's pretty bad. Virginia, pretty decent year from them. I only have Virginia like 5-7, so they did better than I thought they were gonna do. They'll be in an okay bowl game, Virginia, but we'll see what happens. And then the last Friday game, Oregon, they beat Oregon State 55-15. Oregon will be in the bowl game. Good for them, a decent bowl game. Oregon State, they have a long ways to go for them to even be 5-7, in my opinion. Now to our Saturday games. Number 1, Alabama, they beat Auburn at home in the Iron Bowl 52-21. I'll give Auburn credit for staying in this one for a half. It was 17-14 Alabama at halftime. But I just feel like Alabama, I feel like no one could beat them. Even Clemson, I don't think Clemson could beat them at this point. When that offense gets going and the defense can make plays, Alabama's unstoppable. Now, next year, I think Alabama is going to lose a game somewhere. Because I already looked at their schedule for 2019 Alabama. I'm not going to say who they're going to lose to, but they are going to lose a game next year, in my opinion. And I am picking them to lose a game next year. But Auburn, I don't know about Auburn. To me, Auburn, for the next few years, their best case scenario is 9-3. Because if you look at Auburn, I mean, Gus Malzahn, I have a video up there. I think Auburn should really consider moving on from Gus Malzahn. Go check out that video. It's my most popular video, by the way. But I mean, if you're Auburn, I mean, you got to be good if you're Auburn. You got to be like a 10-2 program if you're Auburn in the SEC. 7-5 won't cut it. So I would consider moving on from Gus Malzahn. To me, he's just a very good offensive coordinator. And I'm a Maryland fan, by the way. Number 2, Clemson. They beat South Carolina 56-35. Good win for Clemson at home in the fog. I'll give South Carolina credit. They were in this one for like 2.5 quarters. But once again, Clemson, they ran away with it. South Carolina, they have one more game against Akron. They should win that. Finish the year 7-5. It's in Columbia at Williams-Brice. Clemson, they'll be in the ACC championship game, and they should beat Pitt pretty easily, I might add. So we'll see what happens there. But good win for Clemson. Number 3, Notre Dame, they get the win over USC, 24-17. Good win for Notre Dame on the road. Number 3, Notre Dame. They should be in the college football playoffs. Notre Dame at 12-0. I would say at this point they should be. USC, they're not in the bowl game, and that is surprising. I thought I have, I believe, at 6-6, saying that worst case scenario. They would just get in a bowl game, but they're not in the bowl game. So they really got to rethink things. Sam Darnold was probably Sam Darnold was probably a big key to them last year for them to even just go 9-3. So yeah, so USC, they got to find a quarterback. They got to at least get together and go 8-4, because USC is one of those programs that usually is a 10-2 program. So things could be bad at USC. Notre Dame, they should be in the college football playoffs, though. On the game, number 10, Ohio State. They beat the crap out of number 4, Michigan, 62-39. Good win for Ohio State. Way to absolutely embarrass your arch rival. Michigan, they need to fire Jim Harbaugh. They need to. He cannot beat these good teams. I know he beat Michigan State twice. I know he's beaten Penn State some before. He can't beat Ohio State. I mean, the only time he even came close to being Ohio State was in 2016 when he was the number 3 team and Ohio State was the number 2 team. He can't even come close to being them. and last year was a disappointment at 8-4. I would consider firing him. Michigan, they still might get into a New Year's Six bowl, but I will consider firing Jim Harbaugh, and I would do it now rather than later. So that's just my opinion. I have a video up on my YouTube channel. Go check that out if you want to see my reaction to the Michigan Ohio State game. Me calling for Jim Harbaugh's job, but my God, this was embarrassing by Michigan. I'm watching the game, and it was 41-19. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So Michigan just embarrassed themselves. Ohio State, though, good win. They'll be playing Northwestern in the championship game. I think they will beat Northwestern, by the way. I do believe that. Anyways, number five, Georgia. They beat Georgia Tech 45-21. Good win for Georgia at home. I thought Georgia Tech may stay in this one for maybe a half or maybe even going to the third quarter some. But they weren't even in this one for like more than a quarter. So good win for Georgia. Excuse me. Georgia Tech, they'll be in the bowl game. They'll probably win that bowl game if they face like a group of 5 team. And you gotta say this has been a decent year for Georgia Tech. I thought they were a 5-7 team like in week 3 and week 4. So they've really turned it around. They got some big wins in the ACC. So yeah, good season for Georgia Tech. If Georgia beats Alabama, they'll be in the college football playoffs. By the way. Game of the decade or game of the century in this one. Number 7 LSU loses to number 22 Texas A&M and 7 overtimes, 74-72. It looks like a basketball game, and this one was a classic thriller. People, this was one that I was getting ready to watch the Utah State Boise State game, but I had to flip it to this one, the SEC network. I mean, my God, this was so fun to watch. Texas A&M, they get the win though. They'll be going 8-4 with a 5-3 SEC record. Jimbo Fisher, decent year for Jimbo Fisher in his first year as Texas A&M's head coach. Next year, Texas A&M will be legit, people. They're going to be legit. Same thing with LSU. Next year, LSU will be legit as well. LSU, they got to improve a little bit offensively. But don't tell me the offense sucks. They put up 72 points in this one, so don't tell me these offenses suck. This game was tied, I believe, at 34 or 31, I believe, at the end. So, at the end of regulation. But, my God, this was such a fun game to watch. Texas A&M, I expect them to move up in the rankings. LSU, I don't expect them to move down from the rankings. I think LSU is your best 3-loss team in college football, by the way. I do believe that. So I think both of these teams will get decent bowl games, and then they'll go from there. Number 11, Florida. They beat Florida State 41-14. First time Florida State will not be in the bowl game since 1976. That's a long time. So Florida State and USC will not be in bowl games this year. Number 11, Florida. It's probably 50-50 if they're in a New Year's Six bowl, in my opinion. But my God, good season from Florida. I believe I had them at 8-4, and they did a bit better than that. So, and they were in a huge game in the largest cocktail party in the world. So, basically, Florida, they could have gotten into the college football playoffs. They had a path there a few weeks ago, but came up a little bit short. Let's see if they get into a New Year's Six bowl. Maryland versus number 12 Penn State. Penn State beats them 38-3. Good win for Penn State at home. I don't think Penn State will get into a New Year's Six bowl though. That's just my opinion. Maryland, my Terps, disappointing again. We've been outscored 104-6 against Penn State over the last 2 years. So we couldn't even get a touchdown on the board. Hopefully next year we will. But Penn State, I just don't see them in a New Year's Six bowl. Maryland, they're not in a bowl game this year. Number 15, Kentucky, they beat Louisville 56-10. Good win for Kentucky on the road. Number 15, Kentucky. Ready to embarrass your in-state rival. That's how you embarrass an in-state rival. They're putting up 21 points in the fourth quarter when the game's already over. Louisville, it's a mess in Louisville. Number 17, Utah. They beat BYU 35-27. Good win for Utah. They win, and they win against Washington. You gotta make an argument they should be in the Rose Bowl, in the Pac-12 championship if they beat Washington in the Pac-12 championship. BYU, they're gonna be in a bowl game. BYU, but not that good of a bowl game. But yeah, basically good win for Utah at home. Great to come back. Number 19, Northwestern. They beat Illinois 24-16. Northwestern, they'll be in the Big Ten championship. All of Northwestern's wins came in the Big Ten this year, so that's good. Let's see what they do against Ohio State. I think Ohio State will win that game. I think Northwestern will definitely be in it to the end. Illinois, they're not too far away from being from a bowl game, but they gotta grow more. Number 20, Syracuse. They beat Boston College 42-21. Good win for Syracuse. Ready to finish the season against kind of your rival at this point in Boston College. Ready to finish the year going 9-3. They should be at least in a decent bowl game. Boston College will be in a bowl game as well, but probably not that good of a bowl game as they finish the year 7-5. Number 23, Boise State. They beat number 21, Utah State 33-24. Good win for Boise State. They scored a last-second touchdown to pull away, with 5 seconds left. Utah State, good year for them. They'll be in a decent bowl game. Boise State, they will be facing Fresno State in Boise for the Mountain West Championship game. And I disagree. I think a championship game should be at a neutral site, by the way. So put that championship game in Denver or something. Number 24, Pittsburgh. They lose to Miami 24-3. Doesn't matter. Pittsburgh already clinched themselves. They tripped to the ACC championship game. Good win for Miami, though. Wait to finish the season strong. They will be in a okay bowl game. Pittsburgh will be in an okay bowl game as well, but they will lose to Clemson by a lot, in my opinion. And then their last ranked game, number 25, Iowa State. They beat Kansas State 42-38. We're going to say Iowa State would have won that game against, I think, Akron, I believe. So they would have gone 8-4. And good season for Iowa State. I thought last year was a fluke. Apparently, I was wrong. Kansas State, they will not be in a bowl game this year. So now let's fly through these non-ranked games. Marshall versus Florida International. Marshall gets the 28-25 win. Good win for Marshall on the road. We're going to say they went 8-4. I'm going to give them that L to South Carolina. But good win for them. Florida International, good win for them too. And these two teams, they'll be in decent bowl games. Louisiana Tech, they lose to Western Kentucky 30-15. A little bit of a disappointing season from Louisiana Tech, but they're still in the bowl game. Western Kentucky's ready to finish the season strong. Baylor, they get themselves into a bowl game against Texas Tech as they win 35-24. Good win for Baylor. They'll be in the bowl game. Texas Tech, they got rid of Cliff Kingsbury this morning, I believe. So they will be looking for a new head coach. Purdue, they beat Indiana 28-21. Purdue's in a bowl game. Indiana's not. And basically that's what I had. Tulane, they beat Navy 29-28. Tulane's in the bowl game. Navy is not. Navy will lose against Army in the Army-Navy game and finish year 3-10. NC State, they are going to be finishing. They're going to be 8-3. I'm saying they're going to lose to West Virginia, so 8-4, and they are in the they will be in the bowl game. They won that game against North Carolina overtime, 34-28. North Carolina, I would say you guys lost to UCF, so 2-10, and you got rid of your head coach this morning as well. Wake Forest, they get into a bowl game in dominating fashion as they win their game 59-7. Duke might have just mailed this game in. I didn't watch any of it. They might have just mailed it in saying, we'll be 7-5 and still get into a bowl game. But good win for Wake Forest. Duke, this was a disgusting performance by y'all. Rice, they beat Old Dominion 27-13. Good win for Rice at home, getting their second win of the year, finishing the season strong. Old Dominion, you did pull off one of the biggest upsets in the probably this decade against Virginia Tech. Liberty, they beat New Mexico State 28-21. Good win for Liberty at home. I don't know who the 12th game was against. I forget. We're gonna assume. I'm gonna say that they would have won that. So 6-6. New Mexico State last year was a fluke. Georgia Southern, they beat Georgia State 35-14 in the in-state battle. Good win for Georgia Southern. They are a decent team in the Sun Belt. Georgia State, one of the worst teams in college football right there. Wyoming, they sneak into a bowl game beating New Mexico on the road 31-3. And I said New Mexico's coach should be on the hot seat at the beginning of the year. I think he should be fired as far as I'm concerned. I'm not making a video about it. But Wyoming, good win for them. They'll be in a bad bowl game per se, but good win for them. Appalachian State, they beat Troy 21-10. Good win for Appalachian State. I forget who they would have faced. I believe they would have faced one of the North Carolina teams or somebody. I forget who though. Maybe I really forget who Appalachian State would have faced. But we're gonna give them that win over them. We're gonna say they went 10-2. Troy 9-3, and I think both of these teams will be rematching in the Sun Belt Championship next week. Southern Miss, they get the dominant win over UTEP 39-7. We're gonna say they'll be in a bowl game no matter what with 6 wins. I don't know who the 12th game was against, but they'll be in the bowl game no matter what. UTEP, horrible season. I'm stunned that you guys even got a win. Louisiana, they beat UL Monroe 31-28. Good win for Louisiana. This was a good game to watch. Both of these teams will be in bowl games though, but Louisiana will be in a little bit of a better bowl game than UL Monroe. Middle Tennessee, they get the win against UAB 27-3. Middle Tennessee will, in fact, probably be representing the Conference USA West, I believe. I might be wrong, but they have a 7-1 record in the Conference USA along with UAB. So good win for Middle Tennessee. They might be in the championship. I'm doing my championship predictions on Wednesday, by the way. On Wednesday. Stanford versus UCLA. Stanford gets the win 49-42. UCLA, they finish their season 3-9. I think UCLA will be in a bowl game next year. That's just a bold prediction right now. It might be just at 6-6, but UCLA will be a lot better than this season. They'll be a lot better next year. Stanford, they still get one more game against Cal. I'm going to say you guys lose that game against Cal right now and finish the year 7-5. Arizona State, they get the last second win over Arizona 41-40. Good win for Arizona State. It's always fun if you're seeing your arch rival getting knocked out of bowl contention at last week because you beat them. They came back and won this game. They were down 40-21. Arizona State, they'll be in an okay bowl game. I didn't think Arizona State was going to be in a bowl game, but they are. And by the way, Arizona, next year you guys might be in the bowl game. Next year you guys might. Minnesota, they beat Wisconsin in the rivalry game for once. And they're going to a bowl game, Minnesota, as they beat Wisconsin 37-15. You gotta chalk the season up as a disappointment for Wisconsin at this point. They might lose a bowl game, go 7-6. Wisconsin was kind of the lock for the Big 12 West. For the Big 10 West. Minnesota, though, my God, they're going to a bowl game, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play in this bowl game. I personally think they'll probably lose in the bowl game, but because I don't think they're that good of a football team. But good job for them being in the bowl game, as they got the Paul Bayon's axe. Tulsa, they beat SMU 27-24. SMU will not be going to a bowl game. Good win for Tulsa at home. Temple, they beat the crap out of UConn 57-7. UConn's, I think, the worst team in college football, by the way. They're even worse than UTEP in my opinion. Temple, good win for them on the road. They'll be in a decent bowl game. Arkansas State, they beat Texas State 33-7. Good win for Arkansas State in the rivalry game. Texas State, they're kind of the doormat in the Sun Belt. But good win for Arkansas State on the road. Michigan State, they beat Rutgers 14-10. Good win for Michigan State at home, getting by Rutgers. Michigan State, they'll be in an okay bowl game. Rutgers, they have a long way to go for them to even being relevant. I mean relevant when they went like 5-7, because I think I had Rutgers at 5-7. Vandy, they beat Tennessee 38-13. Whoever won got into a bowl game here, and Vandy is in a bowl game, people. And this one, I'm a bit surprised Vandy got in the bowl game this year. I had Vandy at 3-9. I thought Vandy was not that good of a football team, especially in the SEC, and they proved me wrong. They're 3-5. They have a 3-5 record in the SEC, Vandy. So they got into a bowl game with that. And hey, good for Vandy. Tennessee, next year Tennessee will be in the bowl game. Book it. Charlotte, they beat Florida Atlantic 27-24. Lane Kiffin and Florida Atlantic would not be in a bowl game as Charlotte beats them. Good win for Charlotte on the road. They won't be in a bowl game either, but hey, they love playing spoiler down there in Charlotte. That's a good win for them. But my God, you gotta chalk the season up as a disappointment for Florida Atlantic. Fresno State, they beat San Jose State 31-13. Good win for Fresno State at home. They'll be facing Boise State next week in the Mountain West Championship. San Jose State's the second worst team in college football behind UConn. Cal, they beat Colorado 33-21. Cal, they have a game next week against Stanford. I expect them to win that, so they'll go 8-4. Colorado, I have rumors that their head coach might be getting fired. So we'll see what happens there. North Texas versus UTSA. North Texas wins 24-21. Good win for North Texas on the road. UTSA, they have a long ways to go from being a bowl team. TCU, they finished the year going to a bowl game as they win 31-24. I'm a little bit surprised at this point TCU even has a shot at a bowl game. Neither one of TCU is not that good of a football team. Oklahoma State's kind of not that good either. But good win for TCU at home as they win the game 31-24. Let's see. UNLV, they beat Nevada 34-29. Good win for UNLV. Nevada, I think, kind of just mailed this one in a little bit as they're already in a bowl game. But good win for UNLV at home 34-29. Way to finish the season strong. And then Hawaii, they beat San Diego State 31-30 in overtime. Good win for Hawaii. They are going to be finishing the year 8-5 and will get into a bowl game. I think they will lose a bowl game though because their defense is bad. And then San Diego State kind of has to chalk it up as a little bit of a disappointment for San Diego State, but they'll be in the bowl game, so we'll see what they do in the bowl game. But anyways, that's my recap for Week 13 of the college football season. Comment down below, tell me if you think I missed anything. Also, please like and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. And this is McD the Beast signing off.